got a short time and a lot to cover. I want you to write, if you're taking notes, what I want to cover right now with you in the short 10 minutes that I have are 3 key principles. And that would be notify, follow up, and timing. And I'm going to share a little story to kind of illustrate the importance of that. In about spring of 1989, at about 5:30 in the morning in a sweaty gym in Tempe, Arizona, a man by the name of Jordan Adler walked up to me on a Stairmaster and introduced himself. We were part of the 5 a.m. crowd with a job, going to the gym, getting our workout in before we went off to our job. And that began a friendship with Jordan and I, and my husband Mark, and our family that has stood the test of time, and it's a very valuable relationship to me. And it's critical to note that warm market is very important. Well, over the course of time in the early 90s, Jordan came to me, as most people do when they're making their warm market list, and they start contacting people. He came to me and said, hey, you know, I'd kind of like to show you something. And as some very mean, skeptical friends do, I said, no thanks, Jordan. I don't really even want to look at it. Good luck with your little deal that you're doing, and have a good time. Well, what did Jordan do? What was the first principle? What did Jordan do? He notified. Okay, that was what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to notify, and that's exactly what he did. So he didn't fall apart, he didn't quit, etc. So then the second principle that he did was he kept in touch and he followed up. And in those days it was a lot different. It was a different company, certainly. And the way that he did follow up was we would get together because we were good friends. We did a lot of things socially. He came to our Halloween parties, etc. And whenever he would come over, you know, I would say to him, just like you do, hey Jordan, how's it going? In the general sense, oh, it's going great. You know, my business is really flourishing and things are going great. He was dripping on me, right? He didn't ever ask me again to take a look. He didn't say anything like that, but he was dripping information on me in a subtle way. And sometimes, to be honest, I would roll my eyes and go, oh, geez, there he is with that business again. But away we went. So again, he was following up. Well, the important thing to note is about 15 months after that initial contact, something amazing in my life happened, and that is my first child, my son Justin, was born. And anybody who's ever become a parent knows what an amazing moment that is. And that was a defining moment for me. And I knew at that moment there was no way that I was ever going to allow anyone else to raise him or his sister, who came along later. There was absolutely no way. And so I began looking. I began looking for something that I could do from home. And I think it was Linda Thomas who said so well, you know, you don't walk around with a sticky note on your forehead saying that I'm looking. Interestingly, it never dawned on me, because I had a negative MLM blueprint, by the way. It never dawned on me to contact Jordan again. When I was going to the library, I was looking for home-based businesses, etc. And again, because we were friends, we invited Jordan over for Christmas dinner in, let's see, that was December of 1993, and he came over and he pulled up in front of my house in a BMW. Now, any of you who've ever read Beach Money and have read about that beat-up Jeep with the smashed-in windshield, it's true, I've ridden in it. Talk about handing my life over to somebody else. And I'm not a car person. I wasn't then, I'm still not. So it wasn't that the BMW impressed me, it was a used BMW, it wasn't anything like that. It's what it represented and where I was in my life. I was at a point in my life where I was looking, and he, you know, I said, Jordan, wow, you know, what's with the new car? Oh, you know, that business I started, you know, it's going really well. I'm working part-time at the airline now, and I got rid of the Jeep, and this is it. And he walks in, you know, and I'm like, wait a minute, you know, following him into the house. Tell me more. And I made him sit right by me at Christmas dinner. Poor guy, I don't even know if he got to eat, because I was like, all right, now tell me about it. Now, what is it you do again? And what's the product? And how do I get paid? And, you know, what do I need to know? And how do I get started? And on and on and on. You know, I couldn't get enough of it. And so that's, you know, principle number 2 again is follow-up, you know, and staying in touch, dripping on people, etc. And it's actually principle number 3 also, which is timing. The interesting thing about that is nothing had changed for Jordan. It was still network marketing, it was still the same company, and probably still the same compensation plan. But what had changed? You. Me, my timing, my life, everything. What mattered to me. See, I didn't have a why before. I was living it up in the airline industry. We didn't have kids yet. We were traveling around. I didn't have a why. I didn't have a reason or a why to want to start a business. 15 months later, everything in my life changed, and my why became very, very profound, and then it didn't matter. So that's really the importance of the story that I want to share is follow-up. So time goes on, and we end up going our separate ways with that company. That company ultimately went away, and I had left a little bit before then, and about 2005, sometime in 2005, I get a card in the mail from Jordan. And of course, it's a send-out card. Now, I knew about send-out cards because I had gotten probably a dozen or so when the company actually launched, initially because I had met a lot of people through my own networking, through the internet, through different things like that. And the timing, again, just wasn't right for me with send-out cards. But Jordan started dripping on me in 2005. And he dripped, and he dripped, and he dripped. And the interesting thing about that is, anybody who was there back in the early days, would you say the quality of the cards has improved? Like dramatically? Yes. And it's funny, because I have a lot of those cards, and back then they used to put the date on the card. I have a 2004 and a 2005 dated card that's still in my box, and now of course I use it. But the interesting thing is, what do they say about it? What happens if you send someone with a card with their picture on it?
They keep it.
They never throw it away. Someone was brilliant enough to send a card to me with my picture and my daughter's picture. And of course, those of you who know me know my daughter is just so precious to me, and there was no way I was ever going to throw that card away. So I threw it in a box, along with I still have a whole collection of the DVDs. I never watched a single DVD, but for some reason I kept them. So it's kind of cool. I have a whole collection of historical send-out cards stuff that I never really knew what I was saving it for, but I was. So anyway, he drips and he drips and he drips, and then one year I get a birthday gift along with my card. Oh, they've launched a gift store. How exciting, how cool is that, right? They've launched a gift store. And it was literally 5 years, I think. Yeah, 5 years of dripping and allowing timing to take place before I actually decided and made the move to join Send Out Cards, which was an amazing decision, and I'm so happy to be here. But the point is, the real point that I want to make about that is, in network marketing, one of the biggest mistakes that we make is, if we can get ourselves just to make that initial contact, right? If we can actually pick up the phone and call somebody and share the opportunity with them, that's the first step. But so often we don't ever follow up. We drop the ball on that because we're not trained as professional salespeople. I think you saw, 4 to 6 exposures, Eric said. I mean, you hear in just sales statistics in general, 7 to 9 times before somebody makes a decision to buy. But we don't do that in network marketing most of the time. We contact somebody one time. Sometimes we leave it up to them to follow up. We figure, oh, if they're interested, they'll call me. Anybody ever do that? I know I have before. And we don't ever follow up with them. We don't ever give them the opportunity to allow their timing to change. And just like I said, I was looking. I had the sticky note on my forehead that I was looking for something, but I didn't think to call Jordan and say, what's that deal you were doing? Can you tell me more about it? I'm looking to stay home. I just never thought about that. So I really want to stress the importance of following up, and you have no better system, no better tool in the world to do that with than Send Out Cards. Send Out Cards makes it so easy for you to keep in touch with people, to build on those relationships like Bob just shared, building those friendships, building those relationships, and solidifying that so that over time, you're going to stay top of mind with people so that when the timing is right for them, they're going to call you, they're going to contact you, they're going to somehow get in touch with you. So follow-up is so very important. So the biggest thing is notify. That's your job. Stay detached from the outcome. You don't control whether or not a person is interested, and you don't know over the course of time at what point they will become interested. Your job is just to notify them and let them know what they're doing, and then detach from it. Don't get your feelings hurt. It really is not rejection. I know in the beginning it's hard to not take it as rejection, but it is not rejection. They're not rejecting you. Their timing's just not right. They don't have a why for it yet. Notify them, and then stay in touch with them. Create those amazing cards like Bob Golden just shared, that kind of tell the story of your life, if you will, and their life, and get pictures and acknowledge special events, and as Jules shared, keep in touch with them when you know something is going wrong in their life, etc. Just different things like that, because building relationships is what network marketing is all about, and what an amazing company and tool to do it with Send Out Cards. That's what we're all about too. So your job is to notify, to follow up, and then to allow timing to run its course and happen as it's going to. So I can't wait to hear your story and read about you, see you in the Ascend magazine and all that other stuff. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and it's been a true humbling treat and treasure to share some time with you. Thanks so much.